So today I'm going to be doing a video about how I got into UCLA with a 1330. And before you make any assumptions, I do recognize the fact that I am extremely lucky to get in with my standardized testing scores. And someone already told me that I don't deserve to go here, so you don't have to do it because I already know. So I'm just going to be sharing my stats, and I have my computer out just to show and have it go through an organized order. And I think I'm going to be putting timestamps. So I'm going to start off with background and where I applied with majors. So I live in the San Fernando Valley, which is in the LA County, and it's the nearest UC is UCLA, about 20 miles. And I applied to 4 UC schools, all in Southern California. And I applied to UCSB, UCI, UCSD, and UCLA. And for the majors, I applied to UCSB for pre-biopsychology. For UCLA, I applied for psychobiology, which is, I think, the same thing. The words are just flipped. And for UCSD and UCI, I applied for psychology. And for all 4 schools, my backup major was sociology. So for where I got accepted, I got into UCSB and I got into UCLA, but then I got waitlisted at UCI and UCSD. And a lot of people tell me, what the heck, because that doesn't make sense, but it is what it is. And I accidentally opted into the UCSD waitlist, and I never got in. Oops. So now I'm gonna be talking about GPA. So my unweighted was 3.93, and my UC GPA was 4.3. And I think capped, I'm not sure, but it's definitely higher. But my school district GPA is a little bit lower at a 4.1. For standardized testing scores, I got a 700 in math and I got a 630 in English. And I took it multiple times, and 630, well, I've gotten a higher English score, but my math score wasn't good that month. For the ACT, I took the ACT once, so I submitted both scores and I got 27. I got 31s in the first half of the ACT, which is math and the grammar section, and those were in the 30s, but after the break, my score was so low enough to bring me down to a 27. So there was that. I also sent a bad SAT 2 subject score, and that was math 1. I took freshman year and I didn't study, and that's why I didn't think I'd get into anywhere, because it was in the 500 range, like high 500s. Because I didn't know that wrong answers penalize you. And course load. So freshman year, I took honors bio, algebra 1, Spanish 2, geography, honors world history, health, honors English, and PE. I didn't do any sports. And freshman year, no freshmen were allowed to take APs. But that's changed now for our school. But back then, I couldn't take any APs. Sophomore year, I took 6 classes because they removed the block schedule. So I took honors chem, academic decathlon, Spanish 3, geometry, honors English, and AP world. I only took 1 AP. And then the summer towards transitioning into junior year, I started to feel conscious about the college system. So I understood that I wasn't in advanced math as with my peers. I had my friend who would already be taking Calc BC his sophomore year, and my friends were going into honors pre-calc. And so I took summer classes at a community college, not dual enrollment. I actually took college classes and sat down there, and I took them at night. So that was a little bit rough for 5 weeks. So that would be 5 hours each day, and I skipped algebra 2. So with that, junior year, I placed into pre-calc, and I decided not to opt into honors pre-calc because I heard some rumors about if you were someone who skipped a math level, the teacher would be a little bit meaner on you. So I opted into regular pre-calc, and then I took AP Lang, AP Chem, AP World, and I also took graphic design as my elective because I needed an art class to graduate. And then I also had academic decathlon as another elective. And then summer again, transitioning to senior year, I took 2 classes. I took econ as an online course because I was out of the country for the first month. And then when I came back in July, I took stats. And then going into senior year, I took 2, 4, 6 classes again. I took 4 APs. And I took AP Lit, AP Physics, AP Calc AB, and AP Government. And for my elective that year, I took drawing, and then I switched out into TAing for Calc BC. I took Calc AB because I wasn't allowed to take Calc BC. And then we didn't have academic decathlon that year, so I took forensics instead. For my AP scores, in total I took 8 APs, and I passed 7 out of 8. I got a 4 in AP World, a 3 in AP Chem, 4 in AP Lang, and a 3 in A-Push. And the rest of my scores, they didn't see until after AP scores came in a few months ago. So after I already got into college, I got a 5 on AP Gov, which I don't know how I did it because that was the one class I didn't think I'd pass. And then ironically, I didn't pass Lit, which was the one AP I thought I would pass for the 2. But that's because I was really sick that day. But I mean, I don't take English my first year. I also took AP Physics C, and I got a 3. And Calc AB, I got a 4. And then extracurriculars, when you sign up for the UC app, it's kind of split. So there's educational prep, the volunteering section, the work section, and the actual extracurriculars. So I have one for each section. For educational prep, I said I took college classes at my community college during the summer. And I feel like this one made my application a little bit for UCLA. I said I went to their AP readiness program. So for that, I'd go to UCLA a couple times a month, and I'd take like AP kind of sessions to help you prepare more for the AP test. And I got a Humanitas certificate for that. So what that means is I went to enough Humanitas AP related classes, which is 4, at least in a semester. I don't know if that makes sense, but I went to UCLA enough to get a certificate, so I put that in my awards section. And then I also said I participated in our school with what we have is a Boys and Girls Club. So that's a college outreach program, which helps seniors and other classmen prepare for their classes, college-related questions. And for volunteering community service, I didn't have much, I'm gonna admit. I mainly said that I was involved in street cleanups, and I guess volunteering at different events our club offered. For work experience, I said I tutored a kid for 2 months. And I know people go against that. You shouldn't put extracurriculars that you've only been involved in for a short time, but I put it anyways. So, and for my actual extracurriculars, I said I was involved in steering committee all 4 years. So that's our, I guess, class. We prepare the events for the class. So we prepare prom, fundraising events for prom, like, I guess that idea. And then I was also involved in the Keystone Leadership and Volunteering Club. So that's a part of the Boys and Girls Club. And that's the one extracurricular that offered me a lot of the volunteering events I went to. And I was also in Academic Decathlon. And that's a 10 event, like an academic bowl, sort of academic bowl style competition event. And I was also involved in Link Crew, which is essentially the freshman welcoming committee. And I was involved in that for 2 years. Oh, Academic Decathlon, I was involved for 2 years too. And for Keystone, I was also involved for 2 years. My last extracurricular activity is I just put, I kind of like messed around with graphic design, and I made things like the school geofilter, so like things like that. And for awards, I said that I brought up that I got the AP readiness certificate, and I also said that my junior year, in my graphic design class, our teacher held a competition for making a logo, because our school held an annual carnival. So everybody in the graphic design class competes. So he has 2 classes, competes for making the best logo. So my logo won, and it ended up going on all the posters, all the t-shirts. So I put that too. And then my last 2, I also said that junior year, our academic decathlon qualified for state and for the first time in our school's history. So I put that we were state finalists, and I also put that at state level I also won a medal. Let's see. Personal statements. So I did 1, 2, 4, and 7. So 1 was the leadership one, 2 is the creative side one, 4 is the educational barrier opportunity one, and 7 is the how do you make a community a better place. So for 1, I talked about link crew. For 2, I talked about using art to create science resources and helping me study more. For 4, I talked about I talked about academic decathlon. And for 7, I talked about Keystone. No, it's okay. And other things I put in my UC app, I said I can speak Tagalog because I'm Filipino. And I also did put additional comments because, again, my GPA is a 3.93. So I did get a few B's. So I explained, like, why I got a B first semester AP World. And I talked about my physics grade because first semester senior year, by the time I was submitting apps, my AP physics grade was a borderline C because it was really difficult. And I also have reasons why I thought I was going to get rejected. In other words, things you shouldn't do in your UC app. So, first was the SAT score. My SAT score isn't even in the 50th percentile range. So, I do understand that I'm extremely lucky to be below the 50th percentile and still get into UCLA. And I also feel like my application wasn't cohesive or isn't as cohesive. How can I have bad standardized testing scores but still be a state medalist? So that was the main concern I have. But I can answer that. I'm just a really bad tester. There's a reason I got a bronze medal instead of a silver medal. It's because I always misread questions. And that's just a really bad habit of mine I hope to fix. By the time UC app season rolled in, I was just having a really rough time, and I was at the lowest point of my life with like family death, that sort of thing, a lot of stress, toxic friendships. So doing UC apps was really hard for me, but I'm really thankful for the people who read over my apps. I also sent a bad SAT 2 score in accident. 500 range is pretty bad, I admit myself. And I really didn't know wrong answers penalize you. And I didn't realize till after I sent them because I pressed send all from College Board. So when I already sent them in, I went, oh no, 500 range, like that's really bad. And another thing is I didn't mark some of my classes correctly. So for example, I took honors bio, but on the UC app, I didn't mark as honors. I only marked it as regulars. So 1, my course load didn't look as rigorous, and 2, my GPA wouldn't be as high as it should be. And the last one is there's also on the UC app, I think you rank extracurriculars or awards based off of importance, and I didn't know that. So like my state medalist awards would be at the bottom, and my other awards would be on the top. So I didn't know that. Closing statement. I really hope this helped, and if you have any questions, feel free to drop them. I feel like people shouldn't be so worried about their standardized testing scores, but then again, these are my stats. If you want me to read your UC apps, just comment below too. You can just send me the link.